Your Paragon cover will arrive in 2 boxes. Long box will contain your rails, and the larger box will contain your folded panel assembly with your parts box and manual to get you started. In your install kit, you'll find your parts sealed up in individual pouches that will follow the steps in the manual. Your Paragon mounting brackets will use the pre-existing holes in the bed of your Ridgeline for a robust mounting platform. We'll start by installing your cab side mounting brackets. They are labeled P for passenger and D for driver, so you know which side they go on. Using the provided T30 Torx bit found in your install kit pouch, back out the front bolt up at the cab, and then put that bolt back through the provided mounting bracket, making sure that the shoulder of the bolt is all the way into the slot. Then secure it to the bed, but leave this bracket loose for now as it will be adjusted in a future step. We're now ready to install your tailgate mounting brackets. They are also identified with a P for passenger and D for driver, so you know which side they go on. Remove the Torx bolt closest to the tailgate and place the bolt through the bracket, making sure that the shoulder of the bolt goes through the bracket. Align the tab portion of the tailgate bracket so it is flush and level with the top side of the truck rail. Secure the bracket to the bed and repeat these steps for the other side. There are 2 slotted gaps near the cab that need to be filled with provided foam to help prevent water leakage. Cut 2 strips that are approximately 1 inch in length. Clean the slot with a provided rubbing alcohol wipe and allow it to dry before placing the foam in the slot. We're now ready to prepare your rails for installation. We recommend using the foam blocks from your packaging to set the rails on to protect the finish. To start, we're going to prep your rail crosspiece. Take out of your next pouch the spring clip and your 1/2 inch 1024 screws, and put the screws through the spring clip and into the RC, making sure that the spring clip with the bent tab is facing the notch cut in the rail. Use a provided 1/8 inch hex wrench and a 3/8 wrench or socket to attach the spring clip to the rail. Before securing your spring clip all the way, make sure that the hole on the spring clip is aligned with the notch in the rail crosspiece. We're now ready to install your rail crosspiece up at the cab. For orientation, you'll want to make sure that the spring clip is on the passenger side, and this front lip with the seal underneath it, that will lay up on top of your cab rail. When placing the front cross rail up on your truck, make sure the rail is centered and that the front lip of the rail with the seal is laying up on top of your front cab rail. We're now ready to prep your side rails for installation. Your side rails are marked P for passenger and D for driver, so you know which side they go on. We'll be working from the cab side of the rails, and you'll know which side is the cab side by finding the rail stud in the rail. Next, we'll take 2 1/4 inch bolts out of the next pouch in your install kit. Slide those bolts into the T-slot of the rail, and then locate your ramp. Your ramps also are marked P for passenger and D for driver, so you know which side they go on. Using the passenger ramp, and place it on the passenger rail over those bolts. And you're going to slide the ramp so that the long leg that points towards the tailgate end is aligned with the open end of the rail end notch. Place a 1/4 inch washer over each bolt, followed by a nylock nut. And then using your 7/16 wrench, we'll secure this ramp to the rail, making sure that the ramp leg is butted up against the rail notch. Tighten until snug, do not over tighten. We're now ready to install the lift ramp. Your lift ramps are also marked P for passenger and D for driver, so you know which side they go on. You're going to take the lift ramp, and the long side of it will be down facing the rail, and then you'll have your plastic sleeve that will slide in the T-slot. Slide that down and you can rotate it down until it butts up against your ramp. We've turned the rail around so that we have access to the tailgate end of the rail. Locate your lock rod support brackets, and then using the hardware from the next pouch, take a 1/4 inch bolt and feed the bolt through part of the bracket with the tab sticking up. Place a 1/4 inch washer and a nylock nut and just hand tighten this for now. Starting with the tab, insert that into the T-slot, followed by the 1/4 inch bolt. Take your next lock rod support bracket, doing the same thing. Feed the bolt through with a washer and a nylock nut. And again, starting with the tab first, followed by the bolt. Take out a measuring tape, and measuring from the end of the T-slot, we're going to place these brackets, one at 20 inches, and the next one at 36 inches. Secure these brackets in place. Do not over-tighten. We're now ready to install your lock rod. Take your lock rod and feed it through the 2 holes of the lock rod support brackets. You have a plastic sleeve here on your ramp. Hold that and press the lock rod into the plastic sleeve. Push the rod all the way into the sleeve, and then rotate the rod so that the threaded hole in the rod aligns with the hole in the sleeve. Slide the previously installed lift ramp so that the hole in the lift ramp, the hole in the plastic glide, and the hole in the lock rod are in alignment. Insert the 3/4 inch 1024 button head screw through the holes of the lift ramp, the plastic glide, and the threaded lock rod, and then tighten until snug with the provided 1/8 inch hex wrench. Do not over-tighten. We're now ready to take the side rail and put it up on the side rail of your truck. Take your rail and have the tailgate end rest on top of the mounting bracket at the tailgate while letting the cab end rest gently onto the rail crosspiece. Take a 1/4 inch washer and place it onto a 1/4 inch bolt and hand tighten a nylock nut. Take your pre-assembled bolt and lift the rail up at the cab end and slide that bolt into the T-slot of the rail. If you do need more room, you can slide this lift ramp back. Now we're going to lower the rail so that the guide stud here goes in the hole in the rail crosspiece. There we go. With one hand, pinch the rail crosspiece and the side rail together, and then slide your pre-assembled bolt nut forward all the way in the slot. Take your 7/16 wrench and then tighten till snug. Do not over-tighten. Next, take a 1/4 inch bolt and lift up the back end of the rail and slide in the T-slot, and then have that bolt go down through the slot in the tailgate mounting bracket. Take a washer with a nylock nut and just hand tighten these for now. For the next step, start at the cab and lift up the side rail seal with your fingers and then press down on the rail to apply pressure and then have the seal fold outward the full length of the rail while applying downward pressure on the rail, and that'll keep your seal laying outward. We're now ready to attach your cab side mounting brackets to your ramp. For easy access, you may want to push the lift ramp back towards the tailgate. Take your cab side mounting bracket, and there's a bolt hanging down in your ramp. Move that bolt so that it'll align with the slot in the cab side mounting bracket, and then lift this bracket up until it's level and flush with the bottom side of the ramp. Make sure that you also lift on this side so that the bracket comes up evenly. With the bracket flush, you're now ready to secure that torque bolt to the bed to hold that bracket in place. Next, take a washer and a nylock nut and put that on the bottom side of the ramp. And we will go ahead and tighten this up all the way. And with that tightened all the way, go ahead and back that off a full turn, as this will be adjusted in a future step. We're now ready to prep your panel assembly for installation. To start, we'll take the black panel bumpers found in your pouch, and if you lift the panels up at every section where you find a long roller, you will find a hole in the panel where this panel bumper will be placed. Press down and twist until the panel bumper mushrooms out on the back side. Do this at each section where you find a long roller. And then also you'll find on the bottom side of the panels where the short rollers are, if you lift the panels up, on the underside of the panel, you will also find holes where you can press in the panel bumper and twist until they mushroom out on the back side. The next step in preparing your panel assembly is to attach your cab-in roller bracket. Take your cab-in roller bracket out of the next pouch, locate the panel with the stud facing outward, and then opposite of that, you'll find a bracket with 2 holes in it. Take your cab-in roller assembly and having the studs go through the panel and making sure that the roller is facing outward. Have the studs go all the way through. Then take your provided 1024 nuts to secure the bracket used in a 3/8 wrench or socket. Tighten till snug, do not over tighten. We've removed the foam sheets from between the panels, and now we're ready to put the panel group up into the bed. First, take your pull strap and wrap that strap around your panel several times, and this will act as a handle for you and make it easier to get the panel assembly up into the rails. Make sure, before getting in the bed, that your long rollers are up and that the sticker on the tailgate panel is facing you. That's the tailgate panel. Place the long bearings in the channel on the driver's side rail. With the cover assembly skewed towards the driver's side, insert the long bearings into the channel on the passenger side rail. With the rails taking the weight of the panel assembly, then insert the pin on the first panel on the driver's side into the corner bracket. Verify that the pin has fully seated into that bracket, and then glide the passenger side of the panel assembly toward the cab. Push the panel assembly toward the cab until the pin on the first panel clicks in the front corner bracket. Next, take the plastic spacer tool from your pouch and insert it into the end of the T-slot in each rail. And then close your tailgate, and you're going to pull each rail in until the plastic spacer tool makes contact with the inside edge of your tailgate. For the next step, you'll want to be in the bed of your truck with your tailgate closed and confirm that the plastic spacer tools are still in contact with the inside edge of your tailgate. Pull the rear panel towards the tailgate until the short roller is just making contact with the ramp. Pull or push on the ramp just below the rail until the short roller is making full contact with the ramp and is riding toward the center of the ramp. Hold the ramp in place and let the panel roll towards the cab. Then tighten the nut on the underside of the ramp until snug. Do not over-tighten. With the ramp secured on both sides, we're now ready to get out of the truck bed. We recommend bringing the pull strap with you, as you will be pulling the panels back in a later step. With the tailgate down, we can now remove the plastic spacer tools from each end. And the next step, you'll want to make sure that your lock rods are pushed forward all the way towards the cab. And now we're ready to pull the panels back towards the tailgate end using the pull strap. You may find that the panels don't come back evenly to begin with. That is normal, and that will get better after we make adjustments at the tailgate end. So go ahead and pull the panels to the tailgate. With the panels pulled all the way back towards the tailgate end, we'll now want to pull the rails in so that the inside edge of the rail makes contact with the last roller at the tailgate end. You'll then want to take your measuring tape and butting it up against the inside edge of your plastic bed rail cap, measure to the inside portion of the T-slot to make sure that you're centered on both sides. With the rails pulled in and then centered at the tailgate end, you can now secure your rails to the tailgate mounting brackets. Use your 7/16 wrench or socket to tighten those rails down. Tighten until snug and do not over tighten. Roll the cover back and forth a couple of times to ensure the cover does not bind. You may find that the cover does not move when you push on it. This means the cover has been pulled back far enough for the catch on the passenger side to engage. To release the catch so you can open the cover, depress the passenger side lock rod. With the cover in the open position, we're now going to perform a final ramp adjustment. Pull the tailgate panel towards you and watch the short rollers as it hits the ramp. We want the short roller to hit the middle of the ramp. If you find that the short roller is hitting to the very inside or the very far outside of the ramp, you'll want to loosen the nut on the bottom side of the ramp and then grasping the top of the ramp, push or pull until that short roller is in the middle of that ramp and then re-secure. To close your cover, pull the cover back until it is nearly closed and you feel the cover catch in a detent. Pull the passenger lock rod followed by the driver lock rod to secure your cover. To open your cover, start by pushing your driver's side lock rod followed by the passenger lock rod to release the catch. Walk the cover forward to the cab end. If you're going to travel with the cover in the open position, we recommend that you simply wrap the pull strap around the panels loosely and tie the strap off to itself. This will hold the panel securely while the truck is in transit. Your Paragon cover can be opened incrementally. For the Ridgeline, you have two positions you can put it in, a 2-paneled configuration or a 4-paneled configuration. To open the cover to a partially open position, start by pushing the driver's side lock rod forward followed by the passenger side lock rod. Walk the rear panel forward until you are near one of the incremental positions you want. Pull back on the passenger lock rod followed by the driver's side lock rod and then push the panels to the cab until they stop. Your cover is now secure to travel in an incremental position. We do recommend that you secure your pull strap to one of your tie downs back of the tailgate. To remove your cover from the rails, have the cover in the open position. Pull back on the panels, exposing the quick release spring clip on the passenger side. Push in the spring clip and then pull on the front panel to pull the pin out of the bracket. Then go to the driver's side and pull that pin out of the front driver bracket. Take your pull strap and wrap the pull strap around your panels twice to act as a handle, and then swing out the passenger side. You may find that your rollers catch on the ramp. To free up the rollers, simply push against the ramp and continue to swing the panel group free to remove them from your rails.